Drop that. Welcome to episode number 23 from the trenches. This week is going to be a little different than all the other weeks because it's my 35th birthday. Happy birthday to me, right? Yay! This week I want to talk to you guys about the 4 quarters of your financial life. The first quarter of my financial life is officially over and in the books, and I want to talk to you guys about that. I'm going to give you guys some takeaways about that in a second. But let me bring it back to the 4 quarters of a financial life. 4 quarters are this: from age 25 to 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, and the 4th quarter is 55 to 65. So everybody goes through these quarters, and I want to explain to you guys that regardless of where you're at in your quarters of your financial life, don't worry, don't beat yourself up too much because there's always time. There's a lot of time there. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And I want to emphasize to you guys in your 1st and 2nd quarter, really learning is what you're trying to do. You're not trying to build your fortune to where you can retire on. I mean, you've got other quarters for that. You really just want to make sure that you're learning. You're continually growing because your greatest asset is you. So, ending the 1st quarter of my financial life, I'm going to give you guys some takeaways. My first takeaway is this.
1.
Don't be afraid to fail. Now, this being episode number 23, whenever I think of 23, I think of one person, Michael Jordan, probably the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. I grew up watching him, and I was always amazed by what he could do. But he was a guy that, you think maybe he was just born with talent, right? Not true. He's got an awesome quote that I want to read to you guys. It says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." And that's Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Here's another sports star, Wayne Gretzky. He said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Now, what can we learn from both those quotes? Don't be afraid to fail. Failures are just stepping stones, just building blocks. I wish I knew this and embraced this 12 or 10 years ago when I was starting the 1st quarter, recognizing that it's okay to fail because it's really not a failure, it's just a learning opportunity. Always remember that. Wherever you're at in your financial life, whatever quarter you're in right now, don't be afraid to fail because it's just a learning opportunity.
2.
Think offense, not defense. Now I can tell you guys, I'm guilty in my financial life of, I didn't always do this. I'm a naturally conservative person by nature. And when I was working on the loading docks, I was there and I was afraid to quit because I wanted to have that secure income. I didn't want to jump out and do certain deals because I thought, well, what if I lose money on that? I was kind of afraid to fail in all these things, and I wasn't thinking offensive-minded enough. Now, it's good to be a little bit defensive-minded, maybe 20% defensive-minded. You want to save money, you want to make sure you're smart, you want to make sure you're budgeting, but you can only budget so much, right? You've got this much money, you can't budget down to 0. But on the offensive side is, you can control how much more money you make. So I wish I'd have stepped out there earlier, taken more risks so I could have learned faster, so that I could have increased my income faster, right? You only learn by stepping out there and doing. So again, think offense. How can you add value? How can you drive sales? How can you get into opportunities to learn more? Because that's all it is, right? It's not a failure, it's just a learning opportunity.
3.
My third takeaway is the power of a team. Now, you've probably heard it said before that your network equals your net worth, and that is absolutely true. I found that to be true, and I wish that I knew that earlier in my financial life because I would have begun to surround myself with people who I wanted to be like. Now, not just surrounding yourself with people physically, but mentally. You can read books from people who you respect, who are where you want to be. It's so important, the power of your network and people you surround yourself with. Synergy is huge. Now, let me give you a real-world example from the lives of pulling horses. Now, one horse can pull a certain amount of weight. And if you get 2 horses together, you think that they could each pull their own weight and pull double what one horse could pull. But you'd be wrong. The synergy of those 2 horses pulling together actually pulls 3 times the weight. My real estate business really started to explode when I started utilizing people and teams. Other people, right? Other wholesalers, real estate agents, and just people on my team that are helping me find stuff, answer the phone, do marketing for me. So I wish I'd have discovered that earlier. If earlier I decided to lean on people more, then my business would have jumped a lot sooner, a lot faster, and I would have learned a lot more quickly. That's the power of a team.
4.
Effort and hard work. I always talk about this in real estate, the real estate roller coaster. There's the ups and downs. Now, if I could go back to myself 10 years ago and whisper in my ear, I would say, look, there's going to be ups and downs. Don't worry about it. Keep grinding through those because it's your effort and hard work that's going to pay off. You might send out some mail pieces that don't hit, or they don't get the phone calls that you wanted. You don't get a deal out of that. People think, oh, I'm just not as talented as them, or I don't have as many advantages as them. That's garbage. Give me the guy that's got the grit and the hard work and the determination versus the guy that's got a little bit of talent, and I'll take the guy all day long that's putting in the hard work. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team because he wasn't putting in the work. Everybody thinks, well, Michael Jordan is the most talented basketball player in the world. Well, he is now, but he wasn't back then. But because he got cut from that team, he decided to redouble his efforts, put in a lot more hard work, and that made him the best basketball player in the world. So his failure, getting cut from the high school basketball team, was actually a stepping stone to his greatest success, which made him the greatest basketball player in the world. Keep putting in the effort, keep putting in the hard work. There will be the ups, there will be the downs, but if you keep going forward, you will succeed.
5.
Time is your most precious asset. There's two things that don't sleep, rent and interest. And the earlier in your financial life you can get those two things working for you, you'll have time on your side working with those things. You're never going to get rich punching the clock. You need something else working for you besides you. And as time is passing, you want to make sure that you've got rent and interest on your side. And besides that, you're never going to get time back. The days we have in this life are numbered, right? We don't even know how much time we have. And you want to have that time to be able to spend how you want to spend it, with your family, with your friends, and influencing other people in a positive manner. So the earlier you can get other things working for you besides you, the better.
6.
And my sixth and final takeaway is the power of focus. We've talked before about multitasking and how that's a myth and how it doesn't really work. I've heard before it says a man who chases two rabbits catches neither. That's absolutely true. But when you're focused on something, it's amazing what you can get done. And I wish earlier in my career that I'd been more laser focused and not been all over the place trying to chase all these opportunities. There's so many good opportunities. Just find one, focus on it, drill it down and get it, catch that rabbit, and then go for the next one. So the power of focus is huge. Multitasking is a total myth. It doesn't work. Just focus on what you're trying to do, get that accomplished no matter what. Keep those blinders on. Don't be looking at what everyone else is doing thinking they're getting ahead. It's not necessarily true. You do what you do best and focus. I wish I'd have known that earlier.
I'm about to sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
35.
And I can tell you guys this, the very best thing that I've done and learned in my first quarter of my financial life is this. My greatest successes have come from the people that I've been able to help. That it's been great. Of all the money and successes that I've had with it, being able to help other people's lives in a positive manner has been the best thing for me. It's given me the most happiness and most success. Being able to help other investors have success. Being able to help sellers out of bad situations and being able to help people on my team succeed as well. So I want to encourage you guys to do that. Help other people. Use your efforts to give other people happiness, and I promise you it's going to increase your success and your happiness. If that last video inspired you at all in your real estate journey, or maybe just in your journey at all in life, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Also, please feel free to share this video with anybody else you feel like might benefit from it. So as always, thank you so much for watching our stuff at I Love Real Estate Stories, and we'll talk to you soon.